grind. The last of the getting the motor swapped. You hear that? It sounds pretty nice back there. And it's all together. I've got the hood on it, covered over. Everything sounds pretty nice. No leaks anywhere. Had quite a few of them over and about. And then I just started it up here to see how it would go. There's the, like it's down on the ground. There's the clear it. I gotta do something about that one of these days, but that's bodywork stuff. So anyway, did a whole bunch of little things inside the motor compartment, getting it figured out. Finally got it figured out so that the O2 sensors were working right. Goes into closed loop, and I think I'm gassing myself here. Goes into closed loop and stays there and idles quite nicely. It's fast idle right now because I just started it a minute ago. Anyway, but stick around, see everything we did, and that's the end of getting the Subaru motor into the Vanagon L 1982, what do you call it, 1982 Westfalia. So next week I'll start working on a little bit of this, fixing up the body work a bit and getting it ready on the inside. I'll start putting the interior back into it, which I have in the other shop. Okay, that's all for now. Stick around, enjoy it all, and make sure you like, subscribe, and come back for more. See you now. Finishing touches on the water pipe system. So this one here, I'm going to put it underneath here. This hose, oops, I just about tripped there and lost it. This hose is a old hose from the BMW that I replaced. So I'm going to take that off of there and put this one in, but I'll also make this curve less radical here, bring it out here and around, and follow it right along the bottom of the thing, radiator. Then I'm going to make, I've got also got a new alternator coming. Maybe it'll show up today, maybe not. I'll put that in. Then I'm gonna just leave the rest of it the way I have it. Like I've got a rubber hose going up there to that thing that has the water cap on it, and I've got another rubber hose going down into the engine part. So I'll leave them be because I think this stuff here wouldn't do any better than that rubber stuff, and the rubber stuff has got itself molded into place now, so it's okay. Anyhow, then after that I'll see what's next. Yeah, there we go. That's all back on there again. I have to, this time I'm going to fill it up with antifreeze, and I'll put a gallon of antifreeze in, and the rest is water. I think I've got everything tight again. Yep. So we'll then see how things work out. Yeah, this showed up a day earlier than sometimes it's nice when things show up a day early. And I don't know if you hear this. Can you hear that? A little bit noisy, but not too bad. This one, no noise. I wonder if that's where my hum was coming from. Maybe. Okay, put this on and then put some water in it, or antifreeze. Yeah, there, I've got a gallon of antifreeze, and then another half a gallon of water went into it, and I think it's a 2-gallon system, so that's half and half, antifreeze and water. Start it up, cold start, see if that if it does, you know, hard start again, or if it starts up like a normal car. Hey, hang on, here we go. isn't tight enough. Try that again. Yeah, 14.3, 14.4, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, not that 15.1 anymore. That takes some of the humming out of it too. I'll let it warm up and see how things work out. Yeah, that puddle there looks ominous, doesn't it? Let's have a look and see what's going on here. That looks like fuel. Back here. Oh, I bet I didn't tighten that enough or something. Right here. Can't see the return fuel line. Oh, maybe that was just I spilled it yesterday, right? Okay, that's alright then. I can live with that. Yeah, and the fuel pump is running fine. You can hear that? Okay, I'll get out of here. Yeah, I guess everything's okay underneath here. Thermostat's opened up because this is warming up to here, not to there yet. Okay, I'll let it back down where I can see stuff. Yeah, as soon as I put in antifreeze, then thermostat jams, right? So I have a new thermostat. I didn't want to, I figured that one was working, so I didn't want to put another one in. So I guess I have to put a new one in. As soon as you put in antifreeze, right? Oh dear. Oh well. That's tight enough there now. This, like it never ever opened up, so this was still cold and the fan was running. So, I'll have to let it cool off and then I'll have a steam bath in here with antifreeze, right? Yeah, I'm not going to condemn the thermostat right away because this pipe here was warm. So that means water was coming out of the thermostat. But then I checked it. After I finished, I checked again and it was low, about a half a gallon of water. So I filled up this and made sure it came out the top here. So always make sure it comes out the top here. Must have had an airlock in it before and didn't fill up right. So I think it's full now. If not, we'll find out. I'm going to restart it and just see what happens with the heat this time. But another thing I want to do, I want to know how many amps it draws. So this one here is 30 amps. That's where the battery feeds into that. So I'm going to put my meter on here and just see how many amps it's drawing. I'll put you on there so you can see, so we can both see, right? Because I can't I can't see it. But anyhow, I'll show you. There. That's how many amps it's drawing. Just the clock up there takes those amps, plus the, whatever else is on all the time. Let's just see how many amps it takes to start it up. Is that going to stay there, or is that going to fall over? That's going to fall over on me. Hang on, I'll get you solid here. There we go. How is that? That should work. Okay, watch that gauge. That was key on, and the battery in the fuel pump prime. Okay, start her up. 8 amps, 7 amps running. I'm just going to let it run for a while again until it warms up, until see that fan comes on. So it'll be a bit. Yeah, it's been running for 20 minutes now, and it still hasn't warmed up. 99 degrees. Might be getting pretty close to clicking on that fan. The ignition light comes on up front there, and I think that's from there we go, 18 amps when it's running. They gave it a bit of a surprise. Anyway, the ignition light comes on because this is going through this, and I think there's a diode in there, so the ignition light doesn't see what it's supposed to see. Yeah, so it pulls 18 amps when that fan is running. That's quite a bit of amps. Now it goes down to about 94 or something. Oh, shuts off the machine, right? Anyway, back to 7.5 amp and 97 degrees, or it'll go down a bit more, 91 now. Anyway, okay, I'll shut it off. I'll shut you off and see. I'll just leave it running there until I shut it off and see how many amps it draws after it shuts off. Yeah, it drops right down to 0.04 again. Okay, now that's good. Whoops, this is the main draw from the battery. That one there. So I plugged in this voltage thing to there. It's a 15 amp. It's only a 15 amp fused thing there, so it's kind of just a bit more than it should have had. Kind of put that back in. Gonna start it again and see if that red light goes out above at the top at the up here. See if the red light goes out. Somehow that light's staying on. I don't know why. I got something wrong here? I don't know. check into it. Yeah, there, that's back to 14.1 on there, and I think the light went out up there, so the computer must have sorted itself out. Yeah, the light went out up here, so it must have been had a little bit of a computing error, right? Okay, that's good enough. So I'm happy that thermostat is okay, and it, you know, it works fine. Back up to, you know, close to 100 degrees there. 96, I'll let it run through another cycle, see how things are. And it's definitely dripping fuel. I'll have to see where maybe it's dropping on there and then spreading out that way. Okay, I'll just check into that. Okay, there's, I put this on, I put another piece of hose over the hose so it doesn't get rubbed through. That's kind of a sharp edge there. Maybe I should take a hammer and give that a bit of a hammer. This thing here can go like that a bit. Let's have a look here. Like it's going through there, but I can make that pipe bend a bit, eh? Let's get that so this comes down a bit at this end. No, I guess we're all right. Okay, I'll let it be. Now, Hagerty doesn't like to insure these things. I asked him, how come? He said, too many of them burned down. Well, now I guess why. I guess I know why. Anyway, there you go. Okay, running again. I'll just give it a bit of time and see if it's going to leak up there still. Again, more. And everything here looks okay. Have a look underneath here. I don't see it dripping anything, but get a light. Yeah, it's dry there now. Well, drying. And it sounds good. The fuel pump. Okay, I'll let it run for a little bit and then what was I going to do? I forget now. All of a sudden, everything's an emergency, right? Okay, now I'll let it run one more heat cycle. And the light is out on the dash, so this thing sorted itself out. Temperature gauge is working up. Lots of blinky flashy lights there. Well, I won't let it run another cycle. I'm going to just check out the codes on it. Okay, I cleared all the codes and just let it settle overnight. Then tomorrow I'll come back and do what I was planning on doing today. Which is, well, actually I got most everything I wanted done today. New alternator, new radiator hose. Next thing I want to do is build a bit of a guard for that down there where the radiator hose and the bottom of the radiator goes across. I'll just make the same sort of structure as what I made for the engine mount, but going across just the back of that so that it's got a guard on it. So when I back into something, it's not going to wreck everything. Well, here, that's disappointing. It's still dripping gas. How come? Thought I had fixed it. Where is that dripping gas from? Do I not have that tight enough? Or maybe this part here is burred or something. Oh, let's take it apart again. I'll maybe get my bucket underneath there. Hang on. Yeah, it's nice when you finally find a smoking gun. This thing here, I don't know how that got deformed. I must have put it in wrong or something. Anyway, Get another one of those, and I'll get another one of these because I'm pretty sure that's no good either. Okay. Okay. There it's once again. Hey, the good news is no water leaks. And there's a little bit of a drip from both sides on the valve covers. Don't know why. Well, I do know why. They're leaking. Anyway, I'll let it down. We'll cycle that thing a couple of times and see what happens. There we are. Let it run for a few minutes. See if that light went out on the dash. I think it did. Yeah, light went out on the dash. Now, is that pump making noise? Is it out of gas? Might be just about out of gas. Yeah, now the pump's making noise, eh? Like it's out of gas. Fucking air. Okay. Well, put some more gas in it tomorrow. And I'll just check and see if it's dripping any. Okay, no dripping. So we'll just see how it works out if I put more gas in it. Yeah, got most of it in the tank. Anyhow. Now this thing here. I don't know whether that makes any noise, but it's going to be a noisy one. Fuel pumps, my bane of existence. Anyway, we'll just let it be. I followed all the instructions. I put a filter on before the fuel pump. Anyhow, it's not screaming like the last one was, so that's good. I think we're okay. I'm just going to let things be. Temperature's alright. I'll shut her down. Enough for today. Yeah, the fuel gauge is up just a bit. just up past the red mark there. Anyway, likely it'll take a bit more to fill it up. Okay, see you tomorrow. Leak patrol. Hey, no leaks there. Yay. Seem to have fixed that one. How about over here? Yep, no leaks there. Except for the little oil drips that are part of it. I guess I'll fix that someday. Okay, carry on. Yeah, here. So today's project is to make a little bit of a guard for this so that when I run into something, I won't wreck everything. So what I'll do is I'll put this structure down here, similar to that structure there, but not as, maybe not quite as robust. Then I'll get it, I've got it just tacked on here, and I've got it tacked on the same on the other side. There's a couple of blanks up here just to hold it. I'll put 2 bolts through, 1, 2, and a bit of a backing on the other side. Same as on here, so I've got a backing on both sides. Then, where am I going? Over on the other side, then that's the same level as the car is, and the center of the car is here and the center is there, but the radiator is a little bit offset to the driver's side. Then this is on here, so now I'll just go and get it reinforced. I'll put a pipe upwards and close those gaps, and that'll be a good reinforcement. Then I'll just take some 18 gauge steel and sort of hang it down here. That might make a good hanger for this too. There you go. Maybe I'll put a tailpipe there and put a hanger on that. That'd be good. Okay, later. Anyhow, that's out of the way of all this, but I'll take a piece of 18 gauge steel and just put it down here to protect, well, for one thing it'll protect that. I'll make it down about this level, just below this, and that should want to be careful about that, because it'll catch something dragging, it's going to pull it back this way. Think about that. So I'll make it down to about this far anyhow. I have to just be careful about this thing here. I might get in another pipe and redo this so that it doesn't hang as far. I do have another pipe. Whether it's going to last forever or not, but I know what will fit is a pipe from BMW, which I can order. Yeah, so I've been welding this up, right, all the way around. That's hot. And then fixed up these edges here so they're going to be solid down here too. That one's all done. I'll just finish this up. Do you want to watch along for the last bit here? See if I can get you in a spot where you can see this. Hang on. Yeah, anywhere around there, hey? Give me a second to get set here. You're liable to get my shoulder all the way through this. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think you're pointing. Try that maybe, hey? Yeah, there, that's all welded up. So now I can fit it into the van and see how, then we'll drill some holes in here and figure out a way to brace that. There's where it sits, goes right along the edge of that thing, stays out of the fan. That'll make, and then I'll put a plate down here, just a, you know, a piece of 16 gauge, 18 gauge, 18 gauge down here, just to cover that up. Think about that. Think about whether I want to do that or not, because that will change the airflow also, right? Well, that'll take some thinking. I won't do that right away, but I will get this on here. Can you see that? That'll likely be pretty good. These bolts up here hold the bumper on. I think they go right through. No, they bolt into the bumper. Okay, that's how that's held on there. That thing. Used to have a couple of tow hooks on here, but I cut them off because I was pounding my head on them all the time. I might put them back on. Anyway, this thing here holds up the muffler, and still have to do a spacer here, a proper spacer for this, and don't know whether I'll drop it down another ½ inch or something, another ¼ inch. We'll think about it. Won't do anything about that right now. Anyway, I've got the door open to let some of the smoke out of here. Oh, it's dark here. Where's my light? Here's a light. Okay, so those things are bolted on there. That thing's solid enough for, you know, just a bush guard sort of thing, right? And I've got it bolted on over here too. I'll pull it all off of there, clean it up, paint it up, and then put it back. Then I'll think about what to do. I need to get some sort of a shield along here, and maybe I should make it so it goes up here and across to, you know, have the airflow going around here. I'll think about that. Eh? That might be the right answer though. And then that would just be like, I just tag it on here. Would I put it on? Should I put it on with yeah, plug welds along here, right? Okay, well first I'll just take this off and paint it, and then I'll think about that other stuff. Okay.
Yeah, there. Gave it a coat of paint, Rust-Oleum, hey? My favorite. Anyhow, leave that till tomorrow and it'll be fine.
That's enough for today. I'll see you back right here again tomorrow, maybe. Okay, there. That thing's on there, and it's got that radiator fairly well protected. And I think I'm okay. I don't have to put anything else on there. I've got 2 bolts up here holding it, and it's all welded together there. And then 2 bolts on the other side, same thing, holding it. All welded together. Now, I'll tell you a little story about backing into things. So Debbie and I, this is 19 something or other. Must have been before Sarah was born, so like 1990 or something like that. And we had a camper van, and we're down in British Columbia at a nice campground, like provincial campground along a lake. And as we were backing out of the campground to leave, Debbie says, "Do you see that stump?" And so I said, "What stump?" And kabang. Then we spent an hour and a half cleaning up effluent from our toilet tank, which was interesting. Went away and finished cleaning up, went away and had to fix the septic system that evening, which I was able to do with you know, a bunch of epoxy and stuff like that. We figured it out. Anyway, that's why you want to put guards on anything that you're going to back up, because for sure it'll run into something. There you go. Yeah, okay, here. Gonna have a cold start and think it'll might I'll see how it starts, because it was hard to start, but there was leaking or air leaks on the fuel intake. So hopefully that's solved now and it'll just work. We'll just see. Okay, there I got some good news. So, closed loop on the fuel, which says that it's using all of the data from all of the machines there. And you see this, where it says bank 1 sensor 1. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to do that up and down. And bank 1 sensor 2 is supposed to be fairly flat like that, because that's after the catalytic converter. Then it uses those two to generate whether it's getting the proper fuel trim. So closed loop means that it's a happy motor. It says the engine light is on. Don't know why, but I imagine it's because there's lots of other stuff that isn't hooked into it. But that's good news on that. Now what I did was I checked the resistance on the heater of the bank 1 sensor 1, and it was reading 3.5 or something like that. The internet said it should be 5.6 or something like that. So I went and I ordered another one. It was exactly the same. So said to myself, I wonder if those connections are dirty. So I cleaned the connections in a little connector, hooked up the new one, and now it's working properly. It hasn't worked properly ever. Now it's working properly. So I'm happy with that. So I think we got everything, and its motor sounds nice. So I'm gonna be happy with the way it is. I'll hook up this other one and give it a heat cycle or two on that. Okay, here's all these sensors. It's 86 degrees, mass airflow is 4.01, battery's 14.1, fuel's 1.32 liters per hour, RPM 725. But here's what I was waiting to see happen right. Sensor 1 should be jumping from low to high. That's the way that it sort of works. It'll there 27 down to 03, 48 down to 06. That's what it's supposed to do. And this one here should stay fairly steady all the time because it's after the catalytic converter, and it says it's catalytic converter should sort out everything. So I'm happy to see that moving in a proper way. And I think it was just a dirty connection, so I have a spare O2 sensor. Oh well, that's alright. Anyhow, now I'll check out the see if we're leaking any fuel or anything like that. No fuel leaking. Yeah. Fairly quiet on this thing. Not making a horrendous noise like it used to. So I'll be happy with that. Oh, I think that's everything's working now. degrees. Getting warm over there, and I'll just see if anything's gonna leak water now. Hey. And so all these vacuum lines must be happy because they went into closed loop. Okay, yeah, so the thermostat's opened up. This is all warm, and this pipe down here is warm, so it's circulating water, and it's up around 94 degrees, so it'll warm up a bit more, and then the fan should kick in, and then that'll be enough of that. Then I gotta see if I can get these, like this has to be down a bit lower so it'll get underneath the motor, and then this has to be down about here somewhere. So I'll make a little bit of a bracket to hold it over here. For the short term, I'll just put a what do you call that, a tie wrap around it to hold it down. I think this is low enough. If it's not, I'll have to make that just a bit lower there, which isn't too difficult to do. Anyway, coming together. Yeah, the fan kicked on, blowing off there. Every way you feel. And the temperature is hanging at 100 there. Takes a minute for this to catch up. 99 now, going down. And the voltage is 13.8 when that thing is running, 13.5. It uses quite a bit of voltage, it uses a lot of power. And 95 here now, and should drop down to 0, like, there we are. Comes down around, it'll go down to about 93 next time it sends a signal, I think. See what happens. I'll let you know. Oh yeah, there we go. Down to 91 there now. Fan quit. So, that's all good. I'll let it run for another cycle. Yeah, there. That sits down. It takes a bit to get around this, but I think I'll just let that be like that. We'll get around it. Now I'm gonna start it up and see what it sounds like with the engine bonnet closed. Let me just open the door here a bit. Huh. That's looking complete. See what happens. See if anything squeals. or anything rubs and battles and bangs and... Well, that's pretty quiet. Yeah, you can't see a damn thing now. Huh. There you go. Have a look at the fuel trims and stuff like that and see if it's going to be happy. More buttons to press to make this thing work than you can shake a stick at. Yeah, so this one here is 77, 78, 88. See if that starts working properly soon. How come those aren't working now? Maybe they have to warm up a bit first. Well, I'll bring you back if I get some action here. Yeah, I wouldn't go into closed loop. It was just sort of hanging around in open loop. And then I revved it up a couple of times, and bank one, sensor one, you can see that jumping around there properly. And it's got, see how it was, the graph is interesting, because there's the graph where it was high, 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 and then I revved it a couple of times and it started doing, this is what it's supposed to do. And this one here was high, 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 and after I revved it a couple of times, then this is what it's supposed to do. So it wasn't heated up properly, I guess, or who knows. Anyway, working right now. So there we go. I was thinking that the only thing I did was close the hood. So you just have to give it a couple of revs and it goes into closed loop. Then it's a happy system. Okay. Yeah, now this one here is working properly the way it's supposed to go. Okay, I'm happy with that. Temperature is getting around 95. See if it'll kick the fan on. And if it kicks, once it kicks the fan on, then I'll shut her off and that'll be enough, I'm sure. It's actually pretty nice and quiet with it running like that, eh? And this, the roof doesn't touch anything. It's a high above everything, so we're okay in there. Can't see anyhow, but I sort of snuck a look underneath it. Snuck a little look underneath there. Everything seems to be clear. So that's good. Yeah, there. I think everything is running pretty good now. This thing closed loop and it's running right. That should jump up. Yeah, see, it jumps up and down. Okay, I shut it off and that'll be enough for today. Yeah, okay. So before I get too far away, I'll give you my very limited knowledge on O2 sensors and what they do and how they do. Anyhow, this one here is the number one. It's the one before the catalytic converter. What the computer does, no. First off, this thing has to get, there's 3 wires going to it. 2 wires are for a heater on that they get it running right away. And the 3rd wire is a voltage signal to the ECU, that thing. Now, when it gets to about 600 degrees, it'll start sending out electric signals. And the electric signal will be caused by the temperature going up and down, I believe. So what the ECU does, it sends a signal for the motor to run rich, and then a millisecond later it sends a signal for the motor to run lean. So it goes rich, lean, rich, lean, rich, lean, like that. Now the reason for that, I believe, is to excite the catalytic converter, and that makes the catalytic converter work and get rid of noxious gases. The other O2 sensor on the back side of the catalytic converter, its job is to monitor that things are steady out there. The amount of noxious gases or oxygen coming through the catalytic converter is what it's supposed to be. Now, so this thing here, when it gets hot, it sends a signal to the ICU, and that says, ICU, is that what that thing is? The engine control unit, yeah. ECU? Okay. And it sends a signal to there that says, yeah, here's the temperature I'm at, and so it equates that into a voltage, and it sends that voltage to there. Then that thing there will in turn start exciting, like start going a little bit rich, a little bit lean, a little bit rich, a little bit lean. And so when you see a graph of this thing coming out, you'll see it's going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's what it's supposed to do. And then that excitement in the catalytic converter is what makes the catalytic converter work. And I do believe this is all just for like when it's at low RPM and idling, because I think at high RPM it just goes full out, right? But who knows? Anyway, that's sort of the limited knowledge I have of these things. And there should be, on the two white wires in this case, whatever two colors are the same, this is a heater, there should be a resistance on there of some sort. Now, what the book says is it should be about 5.8. In this case, this one here is about 3.5, and it works fine. And the other thing that it has is to generate the electrical signal, which is, a millivolts. And so two of the wires, the black wire is the electrical signal that it generates in here by creating heat, and then that makes everything work. And then once this thing is going properly and that's reading it properly, then the and the back one is giving its signal that says, yeah, it's all okay, it's all okay, it's all okay. Then the motor goes into what is called closed loop and runs fairly efficiently. Anyway, that's about the limit of my knowledge on these damn things. They seem to work. Yeah, there, put the wheels on it, and here's how much of the clearance we have underneath. So there's about 7 or 8 inches of clearance there. It's not a four-wheel driver, that's for sure, but everything else seems to be up out of the way. The catalytic converter's high enough up, the muffler's high enough up, this pipe here high enough up out of the way. I may build a little bit of a shield to go across the front of the motor mount and shield the oil pan so it doesn't get whacked by something. But otherwise it seems to be alright. I'm going to make a little piece of stretched steel to go in here from the back side. That'll just cover it up. I'll paint it black, I think. That should work. And let the air come through. Then I'll figure out a place to put the license plate. Here's the light for the license plate and the other light. Can't move those. So maybe I'll just stick it here and put another light here somehow or other. We'll see. Okay, I'll worry about that later. I think I'm finished in here for now. Everything here seems to work all right, and I'll run it for a while and see how things turn out, see how things work along the way. Hopefully nothing gets in the way. I didn't try out this to see if it would go back and forth with the cover on. I'll put the cover back on and close it up, and that'll be that for now. Yeah, there. So that's all back together on the ground. I'm gonna just start it up here and see how it sounds with everything closed up, and then we'll close out this video. I think I'll move on to different stuff. Here we go. Yeah, it starts right up just like that. Oh, how do you like that, eh? Takes it a minute to sort itself out. Fairly throaty. There, it starts getting a bit better now. Anyway, that'll be enough for this video. One Volkswagen van is a runner and running nicely. Starts easy, runs well. So lots of little things we did this time, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Yeah, did you think I'd let it go without seeing if it'll move? We'll just see if it moves. Yeah, it moves. So I pulled it over this way. I'm going to do a little bit of work right here on this door. See if I can make that door sit better, close better. But it seems to be all right. The power brakes don't do much powering, so maybe I've got something wrong there. Yeah, okay, here we are. Sometime in March, after the first week. It's in the second week of March. And it's warming up. It's been brutally cold this winter. And the snow is on and on and on. Looks like quite a bit of ice is blown in here. Somebody was along with snowshoes ahead of me here. I'm on just my boots. See if I can get over here without going up to my knees. No, can't. Oh, there. Doggy's here. Anyway, a little bit grim today. And some ice is blowing in. But it's supposed to be warmer, and then for the next week it's supposed to get above 0 and up to 10 degrees next Wednesday. That's not far away. Way out there on the ice, there's a bunch of seals on the ice out there. Don't know if you can see little black dots. Maybe out there whelping their young, perhaps. Anyway, there you go. See you later.